And yeah, I'm gonna post it on my
We live.
community.
Perfect. I missed the first one, but we are live. All right, it's showing for me.
Yeah, and
Whoa,
yeah, I'm gonna.
my bad. All right. Y'all ready for introductions or?
Yeah, we can start it up.
All right, cool. So, welcome to the second episode of One Piece University. I am your host, Crow. I happened to miss the first episode, unfortunately, but I'm here and we finna get to it. So, today with us, we have myself, Crow, who I'll introduce myself fully last. And we have my boy JJ. JJ, tell them about yourself and a couple thoughts on the chapter this week.
How we doing, y'all? John Sherrod on all platforms. Very excited about this chapter. Being rather new to the One Piece manga, this is probably the most heavy lore I've ever gotten in any chapter that I've read, and it just makes you just want to start connecting the dots. So, I'm here with the university teachers, and I'm ready to get schooled on something for real, for real.
Nice. Next up, my boy Marshall D. Preach, the man himself. I mean,
Yeah, you
how
can
you
find me
feel
on.
about the chapter, man?
I feel great, dude. The chapter 10 out of 10 for me. You can find me at Marshall B Preach on YouTube, Twitter, and yeah, can't wait to talk about the chapter.
All right, bet. Perfect. Next up, my boy Prince of all everything. That's YouTube, TikTok, whatever you want it to be.
All right, what's good, everybody? Like Crow said, I'm on TikTok, which is unusual for a lot of YouTubers, but Prince of All Anime, it's on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and chapter was amazing. 10 out of 10, like usual. Can't deny Oda's prowess, and yeah, let's get into it.
All right, and last but not least, the man himself causing so many waves in the world, my boy Sabo.
Yo, what's up? I'm full Sabo. You can catch me on Twitter at @full_Sabo. Let's get this started.
And I am, like I said, Big Gucci Crow. You can find me on Twitter at MyGenCrow. My YouTube should be linked in the description along with everyone else's. And let's just get to this chapter because this was an amazing chapter. So, to start off our discussions for the day, how can we start with anything else besides Shanks and Green Bull? I mean, come on now. So, first off, JJ, how you feeling about that Shanks and Green Bull hype we just got?
Man, call me a little different, but Shanks making Green Bull run away with that Conquest hockey make me feel real uncomfortable with how they about to do these admirals for a while. I mean, I'm not really sure how they're gonna move with it. It's kind of got me wondering if they're gonna take hockey to another level. I'm hoping that's the case, but man, I mean, Green Bull admitted like, yo, if Kaido wasn't here, I wouldn't be messing with this. So maybe he got respect for that Yonko. But I just wasn't expecting. I mean, like, did he like run away? Like,
Yeah, he took tail for sure.
Man, I'm looking at him with his hands up, like, ain't no man. He making broccoli look bad. Like, that's awful for my vegetable, man.
All right, and to mix, to keep things fresh and mixed up, I'm not gonna go ABC order every time. So, Prince, how you feel about this Shanks and Green Bull hype we just got?
It's hype because I see an admiral falling to his knees praying to a Yonko. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a good chapter overall, but specifically with Green Bull and Shanks, man, like all the Conqueror's hockey things we were seeing are completely brand new, which is what I like. Even though this might be a little bit of a promo for Film Red, as pluggy as Oda is with all his films and stuff, I do feel like with the things he showed, he wanted to show before. He wanted to show us with either Luffy, and now he wanted to do with Shanks, but like this long distance Conqueror's hockey thing, talking to someone using Conqueror's hockey, I mean, it's really important. We gonna get into it, but I feel like it's a good thing by Oda how he introduced it, like a little preview, so I respect it.
All right. Sabo, what you got to say about your boy Shanks?
Man, that man Shanks got mental hockey. Like Prince said, he was talking to him from over some miles away, concentrating his hockey on one broccoli head, made him fold and start ran to it, Yonko, like he said.
Preach.
That's all.
Talk to me. I see you got the Shanks, picture, so you got to be hyped.
Oh, he not in here. Oh, no, he is.
Okay. Preach.
Yeah, man. The Shanks and Green Bull, it's really crazy to see now, because now we're seeing a situation where Oda does this thing where he puts a certain character and he's using an admiral to just show how impressive Shanks and his crew is. It doesn't have the same effect if you have, just your average Joe character, but just using a Green Bull, I love that he's using someone who's strong, someone who can. I mean, he's showing a little bit of fear, and that's just really how you should do reveals like that, and showcasing a reaction to a character. Like, Shanks isn't about to do anything right now, but just getting and continuing to tease that reaction and his true power. Like, we're only seeing a little glimpse of his power, and already, like, I'm already excited to see what Shanks is going to do in the next final saga.
Okay, I like that. So everyone doesn't have to answer, but if Shanks's hockey score was a 10 out of 10, then what do y'all think Luffy's would fall?
9.8.
Luffy? I would say right now, probably a 8 or a 9 for Luffy.
8 or a 9? Okay.
Yeah, about an 8.5. Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, 8.
I'm gonna be spicy there.
I think it's extremely close, and because we already saw with all the top tiers, they split the sky, and that was with Luffy before Gear 5, when he was just in base, Conqueror's coding against Kaido, split the sky. And so far, I can count at least 9 or 10 people who could possibly do that in the entire series, past or present. So with that being said, Luffy, and with Gear 5, Luffy's already up there, because we see Conqueror's hockey attacks when he wasn't even controlling it, everybody knocking out and shit, all the Beast Pirates. So Luffy's extremely. There's little nuances like 0.5 or maybe 0.4 left that he needs to learn, and he needs to tune up his Gear 5 or just in general Conqueror's hockey. But he's really close, man. He's up there.
I'm gonna be the odd man out here. I'm gonna give Luffy a 7, bro.
Really?
Okay, wait, hold on. So is this potential? Are you talking about?
No, I'm just talking about at this very moment compared to each other.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like a 7, 8, maybe a 9.
And the only reason I say that is because at Fishman Island, when Luffy knocked out 50,000 fish, Oda went into the SBS and said Shanks would have did 100,000 easy. That was double at that point,
Yeah.
So I feel like, I know Luffy has grown, but from what we just saw with Shanks doing telepathy, whatever the word is, hockey, I don't know, bro. I just can't get out to Luffy. I got to give him like a 6.57, But while we're on this Green Bull topic, if there was an Admiral Scaling, right? So High Admiral would be, obviously, the Fleet Admiral. Where do you think, and everyone, like I said, everyone doesn't have to answer, but I would love everyone's thoughts. Where would Green Bull land within the ranking of admirals? Can't forget his original feat. Okay. He showed up and took care of 2 commanders, But
it was hard.
He did get embarrassed this chapter, but I don't want that to be a reason why we just slap him down in the gutter now. So compared to everybody else, who do you think is where will he land in the admirals?
So we're going by order or just talking?
Are we considering an Admiral still
that man too? In the mud.
Let's give our Kija Admiral still. Yeah, if he was still Admiral. What you say, Sabo?
Man, I don't know how he made it. He really was kissing up to Okaida. He should be a Vice Admiral.
Wait, hold on. You say you should be a Vice Admiral?
Hey, give that fool on the spot, bro.
So you put him on the smoker level?
Yeah, he definitely a smoker for he definitely a Shanks smoker, that's for sure.
Wow.
Bro, it's I put too much behind him and he just failed.
We got a chat from Groovy Zeno. He said Green Bull's the only admiral that deserves a demotion.
I'm like, yo, has any other admiral Like, has any ever looked bad, like, without intentionally choosing to do so? You know, Fujitora choosing to roll the dice, but when it's time to go, nobody's ever been played like Green Bull anywhere
Oh,
close.
all right. Well, for me, it's like the way I see it is I think we have to be fair, at least to the point where even if Green Bull didn't just shit himself seeing Shanks, he's not like there's no way he's about to fight the entire crew no matter what. Like he was going to struggle against Luffy and his crew. So like once Shanks comes in there, I feel like it's just the smarter choice to just back out. Like even though it
Agree.
does make him look soft and does make him look scary, but what is he really going to do against Ben Beckman, Shanks, even Luffy if he joins in? Like what are they really about to do?
I really want to know, like, what is the thought process of all the people who thought that Green Bull would succeed? I really want to know. Like,
Yeah,
because
that's facts.
even without Shanks' crew, if you look at all the high tiers in Wano right now, we got Luffy, we got Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, Law, Kid, Yamato, Momo with his, like, pseudo Kaido form. Like, it's looking pretty mean against Green Bull. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a hard time for him, and there's so much shit like he like did in this chapter that made him go from like the lowest of the admiral to high vice admiral right now. So,
Oh my god.
so
Vice Admiral was crazy.
no, but what he did in this chapter was crazy. I mean,
Oh,
I was
You
talking
can't,
about
you can't
it.
put your hands up and run.
I was talking about it with Law. It's a good point to bring up. So when he went up against Raizo, and then Raizo used a fire release jutsu, and then he's like, "Oh, just kidding, fireproof forest. You're up against a Navy admiral. You know, it's like an obvious weakness. You wouldn't think I would be able to go." I think that this is Green Bull projecting against a weaker enemy. He wasn't able to do this against Sabo, and he wasn't able to counter it. So now he thought of this fireproof forest, and then he's like, "I gotta use this against Raizo now, because you know I gotta show that I'm not weak anymore using a fireproof forest." Because it looks like such projection when you see like he took the L right now against Sabo, literally last chapter, and a fool that has the Mera no Mi, the fire fruit. So now he's showing like fireproof for that shows like either A, Green Bull is decently strong against fire, and Sabo just has a crazy awakening, or he has something that we haven't seen yet, and he's much better now, much stronger. Or B, he just made this shit up. Like he came to
Yeah.
Wano and made this new counter based off of how he's so shitty he was with Sabo and shit. So
Yeah,
that's
and
the
to
two
be
takes I
fair,
got.
like out of all the admirals, he has, even though his devil fruit they call it the forest god, and even though what it is, I feel like at the end of the day, it's still just plants. At the end of the day, you can change that, and yeah, he can do a lot with it, and we even see him just sprout out of like out of a little leaf. But I don't know, like to me, when I think of the best admirals, they all have the best fruits. Like you got the ice fruit, you got the magma, and it's like they don't even come close when it comes to the devil fruit to me. So I think for me, Green Bull, to answer the question, he is the worst out of the admirals for me.
Really? Yeah,
Definitely.
that's an expected answer after this, embarrassment of a chapter film. But
But like,
I don't want to be the contrarian person here for every take. But I still think Green Bull is stronger than Fujitora.
Nah, like
Mm.
nah, come on.
he don't even
Bro.
use the devil fruit.
Bro.
He was
listen,
smart. He
listen.
flew up above and sprinkled down poison on them boys.
Yeah, he is fighting like a dummy.
What?
But this is why I think so. Like I said, Sabo right now is probably stronger than he was when he first ate the Mera no Mi, right?
Yes.
We watched Fujitora. I won't say he struggled with him, but he came to even blows kind of with a Sabo who just ate his fruit literally 10 minutes ago. Green Bull just tanked like 4 blast breaths from Momo and was literally like, okay, now let's fight this since you want to play like that. You know what I'm saying? Now add that to him showing up and taking out Queen and King. They might have been nerfed, but like I've been saying, these are ancient zones. It's been a week. If Luffy and Zoro look cool, and Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji were willing to jump into that fight if they had to, right? King and Queen are ancient zones. I'm confident that they should have healed at the same rate, if not better than Zoro and Luffy did, and Sanji. So I think that was a better feat than anything we've seen from Fujitora. Because once they left the reverie, Fujitora was the only person with bandages on his head. If y'all ain't noticed that, Green Bull was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
You
Wait,
know
so
what I'm saying?
did Fujitora get scarred in the reverie fight?
I just know the picture that we saw from him when he was on that ship. He had bandages wrapped around his head. Green Bull looked
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Green Bull can heal though.
Yeah, and that's a feat.
Yeah,
That's a good thing though.
And he a plant though, so he ain't gonna have no visible scars.
I mean that is true. He's literally regenerating like in this chapter, and
That
Fuji
is
don't got a
broken
Logia.
attack. That is a broke that's just an advantage he has over Fuji.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So Fujitora, okay, yeah, he doesn't have a Logia, but from what we've seen, Fujitora, we haven't even seen him really go all out, and I'm still taking a meteor over whatever Green Bull did.
Yeah, Law said it in the chat. He said Fujitora gonna drop the meteors on them plants and crush them like an ant.
I won't argue with that. Okay, I won't argue with that. But what
And
happened?
that's not even like Fujitora going really all out. Like he is, but you know that he has something above even that. Because Oda's not going to show his best move right away.
That is true.
That is
I feel like
that is
Oda's
true.
gonna keep it hidden.
Well, I don't know. I think when he used all of the rubble from Dressrosa, that has to be one of his best attacks. That was a powerful attack. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that was.
Right,
But
quick segue. I want to ask, because we're talking about like all these more powerful attacks. Where do y'all think the final battle will be then? Because if Marijua, you can't go all out, like Akainu said in the last chapter. Where do you think the admirals can go all out? So that this final war, if it's so crazy, we see all these people going up against each other. Obviously, the admirals are gonna have to go all out. Where would it be?
my pick is Lodestar. I know I've been saying Lodestar for a lot of stuff, but I think Lodestar, being the last island in the Grand Line before the Laugh Tale, is very important. So I'm going with Lodestar.
Lodestar, okay.
What was the question?
Where do you think the final battle's gonna be if they can't go all out in Marijua? Well, the Navy at least. Law said you were.
I'll jump in my. Shoot, I'm gonna jump in myself, and I'm saying it's gonna happen at Marijua. I mean, when Luffy show up with that squad he's gonna show up with at the end of the show, all those restrictions that y'all holding yourselves up, y'all ain't gonna have energy to do that because they gonna be bringing monsters, yo. They gonna have like 1,200 giants. Y'all can't not hold back.
That's true.
So they're gonna have to bypass it.
And knowing how Akainu is, he might just give them the chance to just go all out. And they might, like, I don't know, you might think, okay, maybe they might try to evacuate the Celestial Dragons. They're probably not, but I feel like if there is a fight at Marijua, they're still going to go all out.
Yeah, they got to get pushed to be forced. You have to force the hand, you know.
Right.
He even said, like, there's no excuses. There's no good excuse to not deal with Sabo. And I feel like the next time it happens, he's going to tell them to just go all out.
Yeah. Also, Shanner Gamer, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the stream.
Good looks, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Crow on the Lodestar. Like, I don't see Blackbeard's and Luffy's final battle being at Marijua. Like, it would have to be at Lodestar.
Okay, what about God Valley? Is it possible?
Yes.
I wanted to
Very.
say that, but I need an explanation. Like, how did it just disappear? You know,
I'm not sure if I've seen this on Reddit or seen it in a YouTube video, but pretty sure this is a theory that I feel like Lodestar only shows up like once every 25 or like 30 years.
I need to read that.
So Sabo, who wins in a fight? Smoker or Green Bull?
Oh my god.
Green Bull, obviously, like I'm like, when I say he's Vice Admiral, like he like a tier below Garp, but only not even below Garp because Garp is an admiral to me. So
All right, who wins in a fight? Green Bull or Garp?
Come on, bro, don't Garp.
Damn, bro.
Bruh.
Old man Garp retired beats Green Bull?
Yes, the GOAT can beat Green Bull.
So you telling me that the same smoker that just got embarrassed by Doflamingo is beating Green Bull?
Doflamingo will smoke him too.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on.
Boy.
Wait, hold on. Doflamingo's beating Green Bull?
There's no
This
way.
guy need his own show.
I don't know, man.
As
You
Smoker
gotta,
was
you got,
saying,
okay. You gotta,
Strings
you gotta
on
have
fire
like, do
again.
you have like a
It's over.
reasoning behind that, or it's just Green Bull was just that disappointing where you're just like, he's not beating anyone.
Yeah, I just wanna make the Green Bull fanboys pretty angry right now because they should feel ashamed for what happened. Like
Oh,
you don't do that.
I was talking about this to Law on his stream yesterday, but Green Bull or Fraud Bull, as we said, should be getting dissed for at least a month. At least. There's no way like he should be getting any sort of respect for at least a month with all the shit he's been facing. Like,
Yeah, you know, it's funny too the way he just pulled up so confident, and now he's just running away.
the most cocky fool in all of Wano right now. Oh my
Saying
god.
he's gonna
Alright,
capture Luffy,
so-
this and that.
Yeah.
we got a couple of comments I want to address too before we get too deep into our tangents.
Yes, sir.
Fully diminished man. I like that name. He says, "Does this chapter disprove the continent puller theory, bringing Wano together? Or does it bring more legitimacy to it?"
Ooh. Preach.
Mm.
I
I
think.
think. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was saying that like I think that you should answer it. You should go ahead.
Yeah, I do think it there is a lot of now questions because the way it looks is that they're just building up on top. It doesn't seem like it's just different islands that are forced together. It seems more like they're building around the mountain. And for like the continent puller, it's interesting because if you look at like how Onigashima was, it was still on the mountain. If the school was there, it's still interesting because if you like how the slope is of the mountain, you have that one peak all the way on the top. If Wano was still all the way at the bottom before, and then Onigashima school was that high, that's still interesting to me. But yeah, I do agree with that. That it does change that perspective of the continent puller or an oars guy putting Wano together.
All right, and the next comment we got. Okay, we hate Green Bull so bad that we're comparing him to Smoker, who had to 2v1 a Vice Admiral, who was obviously what bro name was with the food on his face all the time.
Virgo.
Y'all know what I'm talking- Virgo, yeah, and that's true. Yeah, come on, let's stop disrespect. I mean, I don't like Green Bull as a character now, but Virgo, bro, Smoker was getting washed.
All right. Shaner Gamer says that Green Bull's top 15. What do y'all think?
I don't know about that.
Cause
Definitely not.
I be seeing people put Luffy like in top 20 and like or like top 10 and Green Bull barely fitting it and that's top 15. I don't know about that. Most likely I put him at top 25, top 30. What do y'all think?
Oh, okay. If he's gonna be somewhere between like 12 to 20 for me, you know, because he's an admiral. But
Yeah, he's
I
not
think
top 10.
I think that, and this is me being a Sanji fan, obviously, but I think that all of the monster trio can beat Green Bull. That's just how I feel.
No, I think so too because
Facts.
I can easily see Green Bull pulling up and saying, "Oh, I got the fireproof forest. What you gonna do, Sanji?" And that's just not gonna work. And Sanji's gonna
Luffy
burn through
is
that
Yeah, bro.
throwing it.
prickly ass wood.
He has the blue flames too. It's a different
Exactly.
level.
It's not a Raizo level technique, bro. It's much more than that. So
Rizzo catching the strays. Okay.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Wait, what happened with Raizo, brother? Like Raizo die?
That's the thing.
Yeah,
He
no,
didn't see him again.
no. Raizo's definitely heavily injured for sure. I'm sure that like Oda's gonna be like, all right, an admiral pulled up to Wano, even though Green Bull looks like a complete fraud right now. There should be a little bit of consequences. So I'm sure Raizo's in some way heavily injured or something.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, they have Marco and Law and a bunch of Chopper. Like they could easily heal him, but
Yeah, but not my boy Kawamatsu though. He looking clean, slashing all that shit,
Raizo.
looking good.
Carl Marson was out there weed whacking, like they said.
Weed whacking.
Weed whacking, man, that cracked me up. Is weed whacking all we can do?
We whacking. Hey, you see the recent episode 10, 26 or 27? I forgot which one, but he cutting up Orochi. That's 3 heads cut off.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't know that. That's why I was so iffy about if Orochi was done when Dendro got to him. But I didn't know that Kawamatsu cut 3 heads. That was crazy.
He's selfish.
Nah,
Yeah, he is.
Nah,
We
that's
gotta get somebody else a chance, though.
that's disrespectful. That's for sure. Kawamatsu been at it. He goated for it.
All right. Law in the chat. Ifrit Jumbe, no joke. A hockey technique plus high temperature blue flames plus his German boost. Hey man, you preaching to the choir right now. I'm, a known Sanji stan, So I agree with everything you're saying. And once he learns Rio with Ifrit Jumbe and all that, it's over with. But to keep things moving and focus on the chapter, next up, we're going to have to talk about the road poneglyph and just the road poneglyph and the city of Wano below the surface. So first of all, to start off, preach. What thoughts did you have during that part of the chapter?
That part was, well, like I said, the whole chapter was good, 10 out of 10 for me. And even that part was cool because the way that they made it seem, I liked the whole world building of it, where you have the rain, like the rain was rising so high to the top, and that was creating the waterfall. That was a cool thing to find out. It was really just exciting to see that Pluton. We're gonna see Pluton, and then the theories that I've said it before. A lot of people before me said it that Zunisha is probably going to have to destroy the walls, and that's what opening the borders really means. And now we can maybe see that that's what it was. It makes me wonder about, like, did Momo know that that's what he was going to do, and that's why he told Zunisha to go back, or does he just not know exactly what it is? Like, did Oda not tell him exactly what it is about the borders?
When Yamato approached Momo with did she still have the logbook, or did they still have the logbook? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did they have time to read it? Did he sit down and read some of it?
Yeah, he read some of it, and then he says, "This is why I have to stay alive."
So I believe he knows there.
I think
Personally,
I agree.
because he needs to be able to command Zunisha.
And then as far as that's true. But and then as far as like Law and Robin, that was cool too. Seeing Law like uses his devil fruit popping in there. Like, it was just funny to see, like, Robin's crawling through that little
crevice of a window.
Yeah, the little like window, and then Law just rooms in there.
Yeah. What you call it? I'm really interested in the fact that this, like, how it says like rainwater and stuff, like how the entire like old one was preserved. I think that's really, really interesting because the rainwater could be produced from some kind of weather or something. Hell, maybe even a devil fruit, maybe. And it really makes me wonder, like, what was Ryuma up to? Land of Gold? Like, there's probably like so many things in Old Wano that they could like be looking at, because Kaido probably like went with Jack or did something, saw a lot of these different like things in Old Wano, possibly recovering some things. Maybe that's how he boosted Onigashima. Hell, large sword in Onigashima, that could be from Old Wano. Who knows? I mean, there's so many things to talk about with like Old Wano and like all this stuff. Like, even for example, like all the citizens in Old Wano, if it flooded with rainwater, how did they escape? Did they use Zunisha to get up, or like to like the new Wano, or like above sea level where it is now? How were the cliffs made? Were they man-made or something like that? People that were against Wano who wanted to close off Wano. There's a lot of different like options and stuff we can talk about. So that's why I really liked this like small segment of the like road poneglyph, like, or the map inclusion, because there's many things to like, or points to discuss.
Okay.
So you wait, hold on. So one thing though is, like, you touched on something about with Kaido and Jack, and I was just wondering if you guys thought, do you think that Kaido, did you think that he found Pluton, or do you think he didn't know what it was and he didn't realize it was? Like, what do you think that situation is? Because they said that Jack was going in there, and swimming through the old Wano.
Well, I don't think he did, because I don't know if he has a poneglyph reader on his crew. He doesn't, right?
I don't think he does. That's why he's looking for Robin.
So I think he found the city, but just didn't know what to do with it. That's why he's waiting. He's been waiting for someone, like a Joy Boy or someone, to come and put these pieces together for him.
I'm going to agree with Crow, and I'm going to say that I think Kaido found Old Wano, but I feel like he's also found the ancient weapon as well, but he just didn't know what to do with it. And Road Poneglyph, I'm pretty sure like he said he found it, but he just didn't know what to do with it. But I feel like he found the ancient weapon as well, because Kaido's talking about using the ancient weapons and stuff. So like he has to know, or maybe have discovered one of them to know about the knowledge somehow, because maybe there's some information on the ancient weapon itself that talks about ancient weapons or something. Not maybe poneglyph, but like some writing or something. Or like he found out from Zebek. That's the only other way he would know about ancient weapons. So I feel like he might have had, it's like a 50-50. He might have found Pluton or might not have, but he obviously found the road poneglyph. But yeah.
Sabo, what you got to say?
Honestly, just liked the fact that we finally got to see where the road poneglyph was from, and like the little history on Wanu was dope. But I definitely do think, like, the personal theory I believe in is that it's a giant robot sea lion turtle, and like all his fins is just raised up. So like I believe that even if Zunisha would have tried, he wouldn't have been able to destroy him. I think he was the one that had to lower them down, because they only go one way if it's a giant turtle.
Okay. JJ, this your favorite lore chapter. Talk to me. What you got for that?
So I don't got all the theories that y'all got, but me looking at this chapter and me seeing how there's a whole city underground, that makes me think of God Valley. Like, Sengoku was rather vague in regards to how it disappeared, and Odin's daddy, who pisses me off every week, he was vague in regards of what was going on in regards to how he knew about Pluton, but I was really looking at it. It is said that you will find the sleeping ancient weapon Pluton. I have never seen it myself, and I am unable to show it to you. Like, can you give me something other than half of everything? Every time this man jumps on the screen, he gives me information, but I'm looking for more. That's one of the appeals of the show to me. One question, 3 more answers. But I really love how, like, you got a whole city underground that has been touched in 800 years. I'm sure God Valley's looking the same way. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, that's actually dope, because if you think about how Whitebeard was there, if with his devil fruit, maybe he could have sunk in it.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and another thing I wanted to focus on about this whole Pluton thing, the specific words, awaken Pluton. Do y'all think that that's going to be a big deal, or just semantics by how he was talking?
It says right here, it is said that you would find the sleeping ancient weapon Pluton. Now, sleeping, well, we'll have to wait for Viz, because I don't know what Viz is going to use, but sleeping is quite interesting, because that like makes it seem like it's kind of alive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
So, what do you think, Preach? As a theorist or trying to think of something, what do you think?
Yeah, it could be alive. We've talked about the Club Botterman theories before, but even if it's not, I think it could just be the way that they're phrasing it, as like it could still be a dormant technology.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It could just be something like that, where not necessarily alive, but it does need to be reactivated or reawakened in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be the very specific wording that they're using that's throwing people off. But I don't know. It could be alive. It could be an actual being.
Well, I know Sabo thinks that it's the cyborg, and that's a good theory, because it requires someone with that knowledge of a Frankie or a Tom to be able to actually not pilot, but activate it and get it working the way you want it. Because they say unleash it as if it has the power to really destroy the world. So I'm assuming that whoever is the person that awakens it has to also be able to take control of it.
I think the thing too is that they've always made it seem like it was Nigo Robin who could reactivate it.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think for me, like, I always thought it had to do something with her knowledge of the poneglyphs, of maybe that language that you have to awaken it in that way.
Okay, I like that. And the fact that, I think it just brings up so many questions, because the 3-Eyed Tribe, it could be something related to that, because they are like automatically able to read poneglyphs, and let's say if they were like, could have been the people that, it's just so many things you can bring up just for the fact that it's underwater and it's sleeping and all this other stuff. We just keep getting sprinkled in. But from Water 7 to now, that is crazy, bro.
All right, I'm gonna make the crazy theory right now. It's gonna be so crazy that like we're gonna be thinking, how in the world did he think about this? All right, so me thinking like Zunisha gonna take off these cliffs and is just like Wano itself. I'm thinking, bro, what if it's a rocket ship? Pluton is just a big ass rocket, and then that's how we incorporate Enel going to the moon. All this shit. The power to destroy the world is just all the rocket fuel coming out the damn bottom, just going and just destroying everything. Whole ass explode. Nah, I'm kidding. But honestly, I do feel like Zunisha is the like as what you call it? What's his name? Sukiyaki said, we need Zunisha, and then I just like going back to the previous chapter where Zunisha was talking a shit ton to Momo. And how it's like, oh, do you want me to open Wano at this time and stuff like that? It makes me wonder, what was Zunisha going to do if, like, Momo said yes? And obviously the Gorosei knew that Momo said no. And, like, they closed off the country or kept it closed. And that was for the better for them. But what would the benefit be to open the borders? And if so, how would Zunisha have done it? That's what I feel like is more interesting.
It's so much, and we got some blind witnesses in the chat saying Mihawk over Shanks. You know, y'all gonna learn sooner or later. I respect the that you're sticking with it though.
Hey,
Okay,
about the Pluton thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like this is if my theory of him being a giant sea turtle is out the window. I also do believe that Frankie will be the final key because I feel like the pages he memorized from the Pluton blueprints were for how to start, and I feel like Frankie has been turning himself maybe into the key that's needed to control Pluton. Like I feel like we'll have a panel where Momo is trying to figure out how to do it, and he doesn't know how to do it, and then he calls Luffy on a snail and be like, "Hey, I can't figure this out." And Luffy doesn't know, so he asks the crew, and Frankie's like, "Oh, I need to go to Wano."
That's a good one. So do y'all think that the I don't know if I'm not trying to cut anything off. That the mountain erupting after Kaido's defeat had anything to do with Pluton?
Was it the mountain erupting or was it the sea volcano? I think it was.
I thought it was Fuji.
I don't think it was Fuji. I'm gonna.
No, it was like a. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't Mount Fuji. It was.
Okay, that's me.
It was underwater.
Yeah, it was like an underwater, kind of like a underwater volcano nearby.
Was it 1050 or 1051?
I want to say 1051.
Oh, it's 1050. I think I see it. Hold on.
Look at me, wrong again. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm looking at the map from this chapter though, and I see the excuse me, I see it. But still though, that timing is just so weird to me, you know?
Yeah, can confirm. Underwater volcano. It was next to Udon actually, and then they saw it from the sea, because Babanuki was like looking at it, and they all reacted hella crazily and shit, with the whole Popeyes and all that. So yeah, all right. Next thing we should talk about, I feel like, is definitely Momo. I wanted to talk about him a little bit. How he finally was able to do the borrowed breath. Like, do you think it was like a trigger, you guys, or like was it something different? Like, is he just now able to just do it? Now that
I think he got it. You know, I don't think it was just a fluke thing. I think he just had to get, you know, sometimes when you're trying to figure something out, and you got to just feel it once, and once you feel it, you're like, okay, now I got it. It's kind of like doing a backflip. You're scared to do it. And when you finally get to do the backflip after that, you're like, oh, that was nothing. You know what I'm saying? And plus, he did spam him on Green Bull. So I think that he has it, and he might, you know, he's still young. He might be able to pull out some old tricks out the back that we didn't even see from Kaido, hopefully. You say hockey? How about
I feel
you?
like, you know,
JJ,
when Momo gets a little intense, when he his blood pressure get up a little bit, that's kind of the first way that we saw him transform, where he was like nervous or, you know, kind of uncomfortable being with Luffy. Exactly. I just feel like when things take it to the next level for him, it just brings something else out of him. Kind of, like, it's like his own Super Saiyan situation. Once he figured out how to get that tingle in his back to work every time, how Super did it, he gonna be able to transform and do all those powers that Kaido was moving.
No, that's for sure
I like
exactly what I was thinking, because I'm gonna talk about it in my video, releasing tomorrow, by the way. But in the video, I was gonna talk about one thing that people miss, and it's that Momo's emotions have a huge play in how he uses Kaido's Devil Fruit. When we first saw it in Punk Hazard, it's based on his emotions, whether he's happy, excited, nervous, very sad, frightened, whatever it is. He started turning into this eel. I'm going to call it an eel because he didn't look like a dragon. But this eel type thing in Punk Hazard. And then it kept going in Zou, in then early Wano. And then now we're seeing Momo, like, he's very, like, pissed off at Green Bull. And is like, wants his demon tree out of Wano. And you can see that at first, like, when he says demon tree, he's not able to use the Borrow Breath. But after saying like, oh, I said leave, and getting much more pissed off, he's finally able to use it. So I think that with this whole thing of Momo using Kaido's abilities, it's based on his emotions, which is why I think Vegapunk called it a failure. One of the reasons why.
That could be that could be a reason why. For Momo though, I feel like compared to every other Devil Fruit user, they always have. I mean, Momo, he has something to look to and see what he can do, and like even Yamato's telling him how to use the flame clouds. But like Luffy didn't have anyone to teach him how to use his Devil Fruit, and he had to figure it out, just trial and error and just learn things his own way. And I think for Momo, it might be a little bit more easier just seeing Kaido do it, and he can kind of understand, and at a certain extent, of how to replicate it.
Okay, what you got to say, Sabo?
Yamato may be able to help as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like, I think it was just like a rush of the moment thing. Adrenaline kicked in, and his mind finally cleared up, and he knew exactly what to do. But I think you said it, Crow. But I do agree on he might show a different ability that Kaido didn't show, because he does have a lot of potential.
Okay, and to piggyback off, we talking about Momo, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, a quick yes or no. Do y'all think Zoro leaves Wano with Emma?
Ooh,
No.
I say no.
From everyone.
I say
No.
no.
Okay, so Momo gets it or Hiyori?
No, I think Zoro will have it for now.
Okay, JJ, what you was about to say?
I think once he gets in touch with Odin's father, I think that sword that Luffy had at the beginning of Wano was initially for Zoro. I'm hoping that'll end up being his third sword as well. And maybe Momo could learn some more hockey control using Emma.
Yes, that's exactly what I was alluding to. I
think
think that. Oh, my bad. What you was about to say?
Okay, yeah, quickly. For me, the way I look at it is like when we saw Zoro first use Enma, if you remember just how much that drained him, and I feel like even if he leaves it behind, like when could Momo really realistically use it?
Final War.
I guess when he's ready.
But could he really use it in the Final War though? Because I just feel like Enma is just such a beast of a sword. Where, like, could he have the potential to use it so quickly? Is what I'm saying. Zoro, we know he's trained, and we know that he's just like a natural prodigy when it comes to swords. And Momo, he's not really even used the sword before, and to just give him Enma, I feel like that would be a crazy, just ridiculous power boost.
I think.
Now, I will say that. I will say that Odin's swords have some type of special reaction to his kids, right? So maybe it was pulling the hockey out of everyone because Zoro is probably the only person that was able to pick it up and overcome the fact that it was his child. It wasn't his child, you know.
Talk that swordsman talk, man.
Wait, I think the Crow, what you pulled up, the whole Odin's like lineage. What if like these swords can only be wielded by a Kozuki? Like, and like the reason why Enma is fighting it off so much is because Zoro is not a Kozuki. Whereas like,
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, like it could also be that Odin was just such a beast, like Zoro was saying in terms of hockey. But like, uh, with the whole thing with Momo not being able to use a sword, I feel like that's what the scabbards are there for. I mean, Hyogoro of all people taught Luffy Ryo, and we all know that even though Hyogoro was like great, right? The scabbards were right under Odin, and all these people that know how to use Ryo really well, Kawamatsu. There's Denjiro. There's what you call it, Kinemon, somehow still alive. Kiku, like all these people, they know how to use Ryo really well, so they could easily teach Momo, and it could easily like Enma could easily be a stepping stone, for Momo to like go from like a 28-year-old not used to, or 8-year-old not used to a 28-year-old body to actually like becoming like much more used to his strength. So, who knows?
My thing is, if Momo is gonna be of any use in the final battle, he needs more than a bowl breath or blast breath. So, unless Ame no Habakiri also does a similar thing, because we haven't seen anyone actually use Ame no Habakiri, so it could have the same deal going on with the hockey stuff. I think he has to get Emma to make him useful in the last fight, because Green Bull just tanked like 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see how he is of any use without hockey, and that's the quickest track to him being able to use hockey in that 28-year-old body. Personally,
I mean, me, if we talking Final War stuff, I mean, I imagine it to be a whole bunch of chaos going on, but I'm not imagining too much focus outside of the Straw Hat crew. Like, who's going to be the ones that's getting real fights at the end? I don't imagine when everything's at the end, we're going to have a big focus on Momo. So if Momo learns how to work that sword and knocks out 1,000 fodder, I'm personally happy. I don't know. That's me.
I like that.
Yeah, he doesn't need his like. I don't think he needs a 1v1.
Well, if it's fodder, then the bowl breath is wiping him out. It's getting rid of him.
That's what I'm saying. All we gotta do is see progress from Momo, and I'm happy from him. I mean, he already getting kicked in the face, and like that don't hurt. So let's see what actually may hurt him. I mean,
yeah. And for like the Final War too, I'm excited to see a lot of team ups, and like one thing that I would like to see is Momo and Yamato. Like if Yamato's riding into battle on the dragon, but I don't know. There could be a lot of ways to bring in Momo into the Final War.
No, imagine Luffy pulling up to the Final War on Momo, like how he pulled up
Yeah,
to
something like that.
That would be so cool. Like everybody's like,
we pull it up on Kaido.
this kid's riding a dragon. What the fuck? Like he riding
Yeah,
on Kaido? Like, oh my god, that would be such a great way to enter the Final War, I feel.
So how you feel about Momo and Emma?
And I low-key feel like y'all said, I think you said it, Preach. I don't think he could wield it right now just because how, like, if Emma does have separate hockey than Odin, then he can't wield it. But if it is Odin's hockey, he could pick it up right away. But I don't see him getting it till the Final War. But I do see him learning how to use two sword style and to use it as a dragon as well.
Oh, okay, I like that as a dragon.
Yeah, because I think they could probably teach him. I think all the samurai know the two sword style.
Yeah.
So
Kinemon still barely wants to show his like.
And like Odin was like 10 feet tall, and that sword was fitting him proportionally. Zoro was like 6 feet tall, and his sword fit him proportionally. So when Momo turned into a dragon, and it'd be a 200-foot sword, like he's gonna be a menace.
See, that's just Oda being Oda. That's just hard to explain, because who knows, like that whole big ass Onigashima sword, maybe if Luffy used it, it would fit his hand regularly, not even in giant form. Who knows? Because Oda, we know his sizes and stuff. Like so at some points he's good with it consistency wise, and some points it's like, is it a 20 feet sword or a 6 feet sword? Like what is it? So,
bro, when Oda first introduces Kaido jumping out the sky, he is absolutely huge in that picture. Bro.
Yes.
He is like half that size, actually, bro.
Yeah. Those sizes are always inconsistent. Like even with I think ores, they started to realize like, oh, this is like, I think they changed ores actual canon size.
Did they?
Yeah, they ended up changing it. I don't think they're gonna change how it looks, but just the actual measurements.
How big was he before, and what's the change to now?
I think they made them bigger.
Bigger.
the
Okay.
twins.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Why would they make them bigger? Ooh, good
Yeah,
thing
I
to
don't know.
talk
I
about.
don't know.
All right, Crow. What should we
Let me
move on
let,
to? Oh, Judge,
let,
go
let
ahead.
me ask a question. Let me. So Yamato's been talking about it since day one, and Momo's now painting the picture now. So I'm gonna give y'all over and under. Okay, the number is 85% about how confident you are with Yamato joining the crew. Are you over or under 85%?
Under.
I'm over.
Over.
Under.
So everybody that's under, like, where's your percentage?
All right, Sabo, I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm at 40%, and that's just because, like, with the fight with Green Bull, yeah, if they don't open Wano, they'll be a little bit safe. But like, I feel like, to me, I feel like in Yamato's heart, she got to be thinking, "Damn, my dad was terrorizing these dudes for years. I should stay back and at least atone for something."
Okay, I'm at like honestly, I know I feel like it's just gonna be a big rogue pool. Like I got him at like probably like 30%. Cause that devil fruit being the guardian of Japan or Wano, why are you leaving? Like we just saw Odin do that. He should have
Yeah.
been in Wano. Because all of this would not have happened if he was in Wano. So I don't see them repeating that same thing with someone else who could serve as a guardian for Wano. And also the fact that she was there to meet Green Bull and be a part of that makes me feel like she's getting used to being with that squad instead of being with Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei, who were watching as if like it was a whole like there were two different factions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just little stuff like that makes me think that they're not joining the crew.
All right, should we go
Okay.
over the overs now?
Yeah. I guess for me it's 90, 9 out of 10. I do agree with you because I was always saying that Yamato was not going to join because of that, because of the Guardian fruit. But now that I'm looking at it, it's like I see what you're saying, that why is she fighting with Momo and the Scabbards. But if you think about it, she would like Yamato is just resting for like a week, and before that, Yamato never really had like a real 1v1.
Yes, that's true.
So that's why I thought that it was going to be like a 1v1 against Green Bull. Maybe Green Bull would win, but now that I'm looking at it, it's like I think Oda just wanted to give more shine to Yamato.
Yeah. All right. For me, it's
So
just like Preach, 90%, and I feel like it's like the 10% left is Luffy saying, "Oh, you can't be Oden. You have to be Yamato in order to join my crew." And then she's gonna abandon Oden's identity. But with Yamato leaving, there's two things. Like, okay, Odin had the same responsibility as Yamato, similar, like in a sense, guardian deity of Wano, future shogun of Wano. Odin still left. He still went on his journey, however long it was, and like when he came back, he did what he had to do to protect Wano. Yamato, same thing. She gonna leave with Luffy. She gonna or he, whatever we're doing. Yamato's gonna leave with Luffy, do whatever that Yamato needs to do, and then when Wano needs Yamato, he's gonna help him out, do whatever they need to do, and he's gonna figure out all the like ally stuff that needs to happen in terms of protecting Wano. And not just that, we also need to remember Fishman Island. I'm gonna make the same point again because I feel like it still stands. Luffy could easily claim Wano as his territory. With that being said, Yamato can easily be the guardian deity of Wano and stay with the Straw Hats at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, I respect that. I like that too.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me jump in because I asked the question, but I haven't actually answered it myself. And my number is like the most capped number possible, but I'm at like 60%. Like I kind of feel like she's moving, but if she gonna call herself Odin and not learn the lesson of Odin, like to me, that's an issue. So that's the thing that's locking me in. If Odin would have stayed where he was, Wano wouldn't be where it was at. That's one thing I always take away from the story. So for her to still not give up calling herself Odin and not realize the flaws, reading everything that she's learned, I kind of feel like she's slipping. But at the same time, I can imagine her being Odin, and the first time they get to an island, she jump off the ship faster than Luffy. So between those two things, that's what got me going back and forth. I really think she should stay as the lesson that Odin showed. But I mean, I think Yamato and them, they're gonna push her out, and with her being as popular as she is, I just imagine she's gonna go along with the story.
Do you think Luffy's gonna make a trial for Yamato, just like how Whitebeard made a trial for Odin?
Oh, that'd be dope.
What do you
But
guys
she
think?
already proved herself though.
But I guess
She for her daddy.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
for me, it's like with Yamato, I don't see it as okay. Like when she says I want to be Odin or I'm Odin, I don't really see it like that. I see it more as Odin inspired Yamato, and like when they talk about how that she saw when Odin was dying, and she like you gotta think about how crazy it is to have Kaido as your father, and the way that he even put those handcuffs on. She's just paranoid and just like he's killing everybody that you think is cool, and even with Odin, like just witnessing all of that, I feel like it's more just to go against Kaido, someone that stood up against Kaido that was as strong or even stronger, someone that Kaido was never sure if he could actually be because of how the fight ended. And I feel like that's more of it with Yamato, not really saying I am Yamato, because even now, like you see it, like Yamato comes in there, and she's saying, "Well, now I'm Kaido's son."
All right. Now this is gonna be a quick change of pace, right? And Law in the chat spitting, he said, after what Momo said this chapter, I don't know what else need to be said. I can't deny the point of, yeah, I agree with you,
For real.
But this
You
is a
almost
quick
putting
change
her
of
out at
pace.
this point.
All right. We flipping the whole script. Do you guys think that Shanks could have been talking to Green Bull using the voice of all things?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. And I'm gonna dive into it again in my everything you
That's
missed me.
crazy.
Yes, I definitely think so. But I'll get into it a little bit. I'll let everyone else talk about their views first.
All right, what you got for me, Sabo?
And now you say that, like, that does make a whole lot of more sense. But like, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, that just
Never thought of
don't
that.
take me to Shanks. That takes me straight to like Emu on like some Sidious stuff, like some Order 66 stuff. Like he could, if he has that, he could literally start talking to everybody and disrupt them enough to where they might not be fighting at full potential during a cleansing or something. Like that's some wild stuff.
All right, Preach, how you feel about that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but honestly, I don't think it is, just because when we see the voice of all things, we've never seen it be anything like that, where we see the black lightning. And so I guess the question is also, was Shanks talking to Green Bull when he's saying like, are you really that afraid of the next generation?
Yes.
Because to me, like, it seemed like I was confused if it was him directly saying that to Green Bull, or is he just kind of just saying it?
I think it's him directly saying it because we see Green Bull later, or like talking about, or having like a so-called conversation. Like,
yeah, and Shanks says, I won't call you Marines cowardly or underhanded for this, but wouldn't you agree it's bad for? So if I feel like he's actually talking to him, and Green Bull's like, you're here too. Who the hell? He's shocked and he's talking out loud, obviously. So I don't know. It's either I feel like it could be the voice about things, or maybe just some really advanced, observation hockey, along with the Conqueror's blast he sent.
see, this is my thing with it. The reason why I think it is voice of all things, or at least communication wise, is because even Law pointed out, Green Bull talking about I get it already. If we calling Green Bull a fraud and saying he's ass, like, and he's not that strong, then he says that conquers hockey. Who the hell is that? The red hair pirates. You're here too. Like, he's able to identify that it's Shanks, or the red hair pirates at least. And if that's the case, then that shows that Green Bull has like knowledge of like being able to understand whose Conqueror's Haki it is. That means that Shanks had a confrontation with Green Bull, or Shanks can communicate using Conqueror's Haki, which I feel like is much more likely.
Okay. I like that. So, do we start another Green Bull slander session, or do we talk about something?
Oh, we always have time for that. That boy is
Let's
ass.
how about we talk about? Let's move on to Sabo, because I know there's something that we all want to talk about.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And this ties in Green Bull. So I will state my piece, and I'm not hating at all. I promise y'all, I'm not hating. Sabo, take this with a grain of salt. Everything I'm saying. I just don't think that it is that impressive of a feat to 4v2 some admirals who could not use full power. As I know y'all gonna say no excuses or whatever, but he's still 4v2 admirals who did not use full strength. Oda does not write that into the story unless they actually didn't use full strength. And he didn't defeat them, he just escaped. People are trying to throw Sabo into admiral level because of that. And I just don't see that being the case. I put him as the strongest commander of all commanders, but admiral level, I can't do it. Not yet.
Okay, so I think to start this off, how far is the gap now between Dragon and Sabo? Because we don't know anything about Dragon. But as far as power, what do you think?
I think that the
tell.
gap is relative to Luffy and Zoro, honestly.
Okay.
I think Sabo is relative to like. I think Sabo is in the gap between Luffy and Zoro. That's my opinion, but like I feel like Sabo is stronger than Zoro right now. He's got to be.
Oh, I definitely think he's stronger than Zoro.
So he's in between that gap, and he's closer to Luffy than he is to Zoro. I feel, because like, and then with Dragon, it's hard to say, but I did think it was interesting. We obviously have seen Dragon like with the wind devil fruit, or like the wind itself, like whenever he's with him. But now we see Shanks creating wind with Conqueror's Haki. Maybe Dragon has like this wind level like Conqueror's Haki, where like he's able to manipulate wind, or like whatever it is Shanks is doing here. Like it is like a long shot, but maybe he doesn't have a wind devil fruit.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Y'all hurt my heart, but I can't even like really, object against what y'all saying. But
Okay,
I just had to say that out loud. Me being the Zoro guy that I am. But I mean, what Sabo just did on that last chapter eclipsed anything Zoro's ever done in this manga. So, damn.
Okay. So the reason why, I would think is for Sabo. You don't think Sabo is on the admiral level?
I think he is.
I think that if admirals, and obviously some people might say this is a vice admiral, but no, that's not the case, because vice admirals are a lot weaker than admirals. If admirals had what a Yonko commander would be to admiral, Sabo would be that. So basically, I think that for Yonko commanders, like let's say if Katakuri, Queen, and Ben Beckman, for argument's sake, had to fight Kaido and Big Mom, and Kaido and Big Mom could not use full power, I think that they could accomplish the same thing that Sabo and his crew just did.
I think for me, the reason why I would power skill Sabo so much higher is because, well, two things. First of all, he's young, and you got to think about it. Like when we see Luffy and all these young characters, they're really improving at an extreme rate,
alarming rate. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we see Sabo at like a young age, he's not really that much older than Luffy, like 2 years older. I feel like if just even fighting Green Bull, fighting Fujitora, and whoever, we don't know what else he's done in the last month. I just feel like he definitely is going to be rising really fast. And then you also have to put in the idea of when he first fought Fujitora, he just got his devil fruit. Like he was just trying it out. And it seemed like, I feel like with Sabo, he just already learning so much more with his devil fruit is going to also increase that and make him improve even more faster.
Yeah, Tachi said it in the chat, and I was about to say it too. Ryo at 17. It's a very, very difficult feat, especially at 17 years old. But Sabo pretty much mastered it. and mastered that like armament hockey or like that level of hockey. So that is
I
something.
agree.
And like one of the most OP devil fruits in the verse. Well, not compared to Akainu, but in general, like as a Logi as well. Like add that on top. Like, and now he's actually being able to use it and was able to face off one admiral after 10 minutes of use, and then two admirals after like 3 weeks of use. That's impressive as hell to me.
Yeah, because like a lot of the Yonko commanders, they're already old. Like
Yeah,
King is
Katakuri like
old.
50 years old. Yeah.
Ben Beckman's already old. Like they're not. I don't feel like they're going much further than they already are. Sabo is just going at a fast rate, and I don't see any way that he's like, even if he's not there exactly at the admiral level, I feel like he is, but he's going to get there so soon. I mean, he's going to be there soon enough.
All right, so Sabo, I know you finna tear into me, man. Go ahead, let your frustrations out.
All right. So listen. First, I'm about to agree with the 4. Now listen, Sabo was already at a Yonko level in my head. In my head. I'm not stating facts. In my head. But this is because listen. If you a Yonko, Kaido might be tough, but you ain't about to pull up and box Akoji and Akainu at the same time. You gonna bring Queen and King with you and Jack. So that's why he had Karasu, the Squirrel, and Morley. And don't add Kuma, because Kuma, like y'all said, Kuma's brain dead. He is not fighting right now. He can only do like maybe 1 or 2 things that he was trained to do. I'm sorry. But Sabo was the main force in that fight. And like y'all bring up at Jirosa, he was going against Fujitora, who already had his devil fruit for we don't know how long, but Sabo just got it a couple 10 minutes ago. He packed that boy Jesus Burgess. And then to speak on Dragon, I'm like, y'all gonna call me crazy for this, but Dragon is worth 2 Yonkos. I'm calling it.
2 Yonko? Oh my god. Okay. 2 Yonko.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say only because I feel like that negates all of what you said. But
maybe, I was gonna say maybe Big Mom and Buggy.
Big Mom and Buggy, yeah. or Shanks and Buggy, yeah. But I do agree with the fact that Sabo is on a Yonko level in terms of fame and bounty. That is what I think. Power.
What?
Power is like, I'd say like maybe like 2 steps underneath, or just some. He's not Yonko yet, but like he's definitely Admiral for sure, or like High Admiral even. Like I could easily see him like stalemating like Aokiji right now, like easily. But what you call it? For in terms of like power itself and like his influence, we've seen it's like one of the most craziest influences yet. I mean, we haven't seen an influence like that since, like, honestly speaking, Whitebeard at Marineford. Like, it's honestly insane how much influence Sabo has right now, and it's very underrated. It's still underrated right now with all the Sabo dick riding we're seeing this past couple weeks. But like, it's gonna like be shown soon, like how much of an influence Sabo really is. So we'll definitely see.
I respect that. I just think that this is his Luffy's 5th Emperor moment. Personally,
Luffy's 5th Emperor. Okay. But I mean, to be fair, even with Luffy's 5th Emperor moment, like in terms of power, sure he wasn't at that level yet, but in terms of influence, he's there.
Yeah, but I'm just talking strictly power though. I mean, influence, he probably top of the verse right now if we talk about Sabo, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like his bounty like probably won't reflect his power too well, like because he'll probably have the bounty of a Yonko, but he does not have the power of a Yonko. That's for sure.
Yeah, because he causing whole revolts in the world. Like,
8
that is
revolutions,
crazy, bro.
8 separate kingdoms revolted just because of one reverie, just because they put Sabo's picture in each of the kingdoms. That's how they revolted.
And I know y'all saw that Shimosuke flag too up there.
Which one?
On one of the kingdoms that revolted.
Ooh, okay, wait.
No, he's talking about the last chapter, 154.
Yeah, it was last chapter.
Yeah, no. I have it on, but Shimosuke flag. Hold on.
Yeah, there was. I did see it. It has the the two swords, and
Oh yeah, it is right there.
Right.
but
Maybe
if you
that's a
remember,
generic. Oh
I
wait.
think no, I think Dragon did go to that village at one point.
No, he did. And then I saw a point someone else talking about it before. I don't know who was talking about it, but so I can't give credit. Sorry about that if you're watching this, but I saw that someone said that Shimotsuki, the leader of the village, Zoro's teacher or sensei or whoever it was, is part of the Revolutionary Army.
Yeah, and somebody asked Oda about that in the SBS, and he did that, that thing he does when he gets nervous or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's nervous and he's like, all right, next question. And like, just how we did with Mihawk and not Mihawk, sorry, Shanks and Buggy being kids and oh, didn't Roger raise some kids like on his ship? Like, who were the kids before? And then Oda was like, next question. So like, I feel like it's the same thing. So I feel like what you call it, Zoro's like a sensei or whatever from his like old village definitely could be a part of the Revolutionary Army.
All right. So, okay. Any other final thoughts on that before I go to this next topic?
Yeah. One last thing: will Sabo fight Akainu, and who wins?
Akainu.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to fight?
I think they're going to fight, but I think it has to be Luffy to defeat him. So unless something happens where Sabo has to just stop fighting him, then I believe that Sabo will have to lose.
This is tough, bro. I'm not going to lie.
No, I agree with Akainu will win. Yeah, I do agree with that.
But we did think that Luffy was going to be the one to defeat Big Mom. So it's not crazy for Sabo to beat him. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I think that is very personal for Luffy because, that's Ace was Sabo's brother as well. But Luffy was right there. And he has a scar from him as well. So I think it just has to be Luffy to be the one to defeat him.
I mean, hey, I'm going to piggyback off of the Fifth Emperor moment, Crow. I mean, you said it. These two admirals, if this is his Fifth Emperor moment, then Luffy goes straight to Wano and beats, he loses, a bunch to Kaido, but then finally beats him. Who knows? Akainu may be the same deal for Sabo. He might lose, a little bit and keep losing and then finally have some inspiration, maybe some Conqueror's Haki involved or something, and then finally beat Akainu. Who knows?
I like that.
Sabo,
what you got to say?
I see Akainu winning one-on-one, sadly. But, I do see a moment where Luffy comes and, Luffy might be fighting him at first, and the Sabo comes and takes over. But I feel like Ivanko or one of the other commanders will show up to help him fight. Because, I keep telling people, what we saw in Marineford with Ivanko, you don't just do death kisses over and over again if you're not messing around. Akainu could have blasted him at any moment, but he didn't because he couldn't.
Ivankov is severely underrated in terms of strength, I feel.
For real.
JJ, what you got to say about Sabo and Akainu?
Man, I don't know how the heck you supposed to rank Ivankov with all that stuff he was doing now. I don't know where y'all supposed to rank him. He's an intriguing character. I'll give him that much. I don't know what you could do with him strength-wise, but, I mean, Akainu Sabo, that's definitely a Akainu-type moment. I mean, I'm almost expecting it. You was expecting all these parallels between the two characters, but I really think when Sabo goes against Akainu, I can almost see it almost mirroring how he's about to kill Ace, but Luffy makes the save, and that be the difference. Luffy has that power that he didn't have before to, save his brother. I almost feel like that's why he was initially brought in, to correct the mistake that Luffy made initially.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right.
All my thoughts in regards to theories always go to parallels of what happened before.
I mean, that's how you write the story.
That's
how you write
that's definitely
that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
Oda any other thoughts?
The story. I'm gonna say he does it with arcs. He does it with enemies. We even saw it with Green Bull. He was supposed to be the Kuma counterpart, except Kuma was actually good at his job at Thriller Bark. But I mean, Oda does love to mirror stuff, and I could easily see a mirrored situation with Sabo versus Akainu, and then Luffy coming in last minute and stuff like that.
All right, so since we talking about that, since you just brought up Green Bull, that takes me back to where I was. And this is not Green Bull slander. I know everyone was ready to do
Aw,
that, but do y'all think that
Don't call him Broccoli Head no more. Don't call him Broccoli Head. I love broccoli, and
do y'all think
it's the
that
issue now.
Shimotsuki Green Bull is dead?
yes, I feel like it is dead because I feel like if it was real in some sort, even my sword theory, him being sword leader, straight dead. As soon as I saw him saying prejudice breeds stability, it's dead in the water. Like him sucking up to celestial dragons that much, I feel like the theory has to be dead because there's no way like a Shimotsuki, like they all seem very like I wouldn't say like lone wolves, but they seem in a sort of way they know how the world works, and then they're on their own solo path. We saw it with Ryuma, we saw it a little bit with Ushimaru, and then also with Zoro. If we're gonna count him as a Shimotsuki, but I feel like they all like have that like solo type path. Even like what you call it, the swords or blacksmith in Zoro's old village. He seems to have like this own like solo type path, like he's doing his own thing. So with Green Bull, like how he is, his whole personality, it doesn't feel like he has that same type of vibe. So I feel like it's dead in the water. But I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel.
Oh, what you got to say about that, Sabo?
Like right now, I feel like it is dead. I'm pretty sure in our last stream, I don't know if it was you, Prince, or Preach, but I feel like Loki he could be like Dendro and just got angry after losing to Kaido, and like he just completely erased his old personality and just like locked the memories away because it was just a bad memory. But right now, like the Zoro Ryuma relation, it's not there. There's no way. I get Zoro a little bit racist, but he hangs out with Usopp, so.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I made 2 videos on it, and even I have to say that it's definitely on its last breath right now. If there's any chance, it's like at a 1 or 2% chance at this point.
It's a very small chance at that. I'm not.
Yeah, it's not very likely at this point. I do still think that he, in a weird way, looks like what's his name, Kozoboro, the one that was teaching Zoro.
Oh yeah,
We saw it in
yeah.
the King's fight.
The
I do
blacksmith
think he
one.
kind of resembles him a little, but I still don't think it's anything to really look into.
Yeah, same here. I think it's very minimal. Like his whole
Yeah.
deal with the Shimotsuki clan. If there's anything.
All right. JJ, did you put out a big opinion or you just say yes or no?
Oh, I didn't say anything yet, but I mean, with us looking at Green Bull for the past 3-4 chapters and him not saying anything remotely close to him having any kind of relation to Wano, I kind of dead it at that. I remember seeing the panels of the Daimyo of Ringo and him looking very familiar, but for him to talk that prejudice talk and then for him to not even say anything about it as he ran away, like, oh, geez, I want to make my country better or something. I mean, like, yeah, I don't think he has any origin of Wano and no origin of Zoro.
All right, I respect that. Me personally, we know Zoro is a racist himself, but on a less, obviously, a less strong scale. But I'm gonna have to close it. I'm gonna have to close that door too, man. I just can't see that Oda. I can't see him dropping someone that's related to a major. I mean, obviously, Judge is a terrible person. Don't get me wrong, but dropping Green Bull into this, he is such a shitty person, and to have him be Zoro's dad, like Sanji's dad is Zeph. But that being Zoro's dad, that just sounds crazy to me. I don't think he'd do that. Unless he's trying to confirm the Zoro racism, which I ain't got no problem with that either, So
yeah, no, he definitely not going to try to do that. It's going to be subtle messages that Zoro's racist, but it's not going to be outright, oh, your dad's literally one of the most hated people in the entire world.
And he just ran from Shanks.
Yeah.
Right.
Going on with this, I want to ask, two questions really. Actually, how many more chapters do we have until Wano ends? And do you think that we're gonna get something with Zoro and Wano, some kind of confirmation on it within the next few chapters, whenever before it ends?
I think we're definitely going to see some Zoro backstory for sure, because they still have to go to Ringo, I think, and deal with like the graves and stuff, and like they were gonna make the like Odin's grave and like similar to what you call Ryuma's. So I feel like Zoro definitely has to go there at some point, and then we'll see like a little bit of like a flashback or something like Zoro related. And then in terms of Wano ending, I'd say give it five, 6 chapters. I think
5 chapters.
5, 6 chapters. I think because I gotta see the Otis break schedule, but I feel like he's gonna follow that, and like it's gonna like end relatively soon.
I think that after this party, Zoro and Hiyori take a trip to Ryuma's grave.
Yes.
Wow.
So we definitely need to learn that. If that doesn't happen, it's just gonna be crazy to me. But I don't. I also, it's a couple more things I want to see in Wano. Just a little plot threads being wrapped up, like what's gonna happen with Tama and Olga with the smile that was laughing at her dad dying. And I say about 4 or 5 chapters too. And I think that Hitetsu shows up at the grave and gives us a lot more questions once again, which is his specialty.
Just I knew all of these things, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now because plot. I'll let y'all know 2 chapters before One Piece ends. Oh yeah, this was Zoro's dad. This is all of Zoro's lineage. This is how he gets this sword, and this is how he's gonna beat Mihawk. He's gonna do it
And
all in the last chapter.
The Fox guy too. The Fox fella that was with what was bro name? I can't remember his name. The one that took Zoro's sword, basically.
Yeah, Onimaru.
Yeah, he has to show up when they go to Ryuma's grave.
Yeah, he already showed up with Kawamatsu because I pay attention to Kawamatsu. He's the GOAT, but we saw the little reunion, and he's there. So I could easily like expect him to have a little like confrontation with Zoro, being like, "We still not good. We need to figure shit out." Or he's like, "All right, we good now. You beat Kaido in a sense, or like help beat Kaido, and good job."
Someone in the chat asked if we think Raizo is dead, and I don't think he's dead. We talked about this a little earlier. I don't think he's dead, but heavily wounded.
Heavily wounded for sure.
That boy needs some water.
It looked like water got drained out of him. No, it looked like water.
That's what I'm saying. He needs some water. He got stuck dry, so he needs some water.
He got pause, bro. Suck.
Pause. Yes, sir.
Mega pause. Hold on. It looks
that's more Green Bull slander for him.
Hey, it looks like actually Ryokugo used armament hockey on his branch right here. Like if you look at it, he used like some. It looks like because it's much more dark, and then right as Raizo got stabbed and sucked out, Ayo. But like, yeah, like I feel like it's a little detail that we haven't seen, but like it's definitely something we should pay attention to. And then even when Shanks uses Conqueror's hockey, Green Bull immediately stopped his like broccoli head form. So like it like immediately reversed back to like just him being like completely normal. And so maybe like Conqueror's hockey immediately negates like Devil Fruit like usage.
I think it's the level, because Aki is always shown to be the antithesis to Devil Fruit usage.
So maybe like just like the level Shanks is at, it's just that like hardcore where like Green Bull can't even use his fruit. Which is interesting because if Conqueror's hockey is at that level, then what is the Yami Yami no Mi? Is it like the most high advanced version of Conqueror's hockey? So pretty much if Blackbeard doesn't have Conqueror's hockey, he instead substituted it with the Yami Yami no Mi, which is why he sought out after it, because hockey is again what rules the seas. But if Conqueror's hockey is, or the Yami Yami no Mi is based on the highest level of Conqueror's hockey, that's why it's so OP. That's why it negates all Devil Fruits. That's why it does all these things. So you never know.
Yeah, because I always understood darkness, as an ability, but that does not explain why it can negate Devil Fruits. I feel. Personally.
Yeah. Let's see. Also, the schedule break. I looked at it. So in 5 or 6 chapters, 1061. After that, we get a Oda break. which is September 23rd. So that might be when Wano ends. But
Yeah, they're gonna be on the ship headed towards wherever they're going, and it's gonna say break next week. I'm calling it now.
yeah, definitely.
So one thing that I want to
What's
point
that,
out.
7?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what's that, 7 chapter?
Uh,
6 chapters, okay.
Six chapters. 1061.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I've always said Zeus is one of probably my least favorite character in One Piece, and just seeing him here, bro, like, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because so is it that Big Mom, if she dies, Zeus will die, or is that just something that everyone made up?
Yeah, no, Zeus just
think so.
evaporates. I think their souls are linked. They have to be.
Yeah, it's her soul. So
Just the fact that Zeus is essentially a straw hat now. Because, like, I don't know, man. Like, something just like this dude is one of the fakest and one of the worst parts of Wano in my eyes, because we saw him be just completely useless on the rooftop. He betrayed Nami. He betrayed Big Mom. Like I just every time I see Zeus, it just frustrates me. Like, why is he still around?
No, I definitely like it makes sense. I feel that.
Nami needs Zeus, big dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just for Nami to just have something broken and have something where she's actually useful. But besides that, like, just seeing him here just was like what are we doing?
I think that he's Zeus is just a placeholder till she gets Enel's devil fruit.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, see, I'll just give her the devil fruit, man. Like, seriously.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
she don't even need it at this point. Even like what you call a pre-time skip, like how she was using the thunderballs and stuff. It was like at the level where she didn't even need, and it's just. I think the only way to like level up her use of electricity is that she's a Logia, and she herself is the embodiment of electricity. Other than that, it wouldn't have been much of an upgrade. She already used a bunch of electric like attacks and stuff. So yeah, I mean, even with that, I don't know like if Oda wants to follow the whole if or the devil fruits like that he put in the SBS for everyone, because if we then talk about that, then right now Zoro could easily get Kaido's fruit. It's just some fruit on Wano right now if Kaido's dead, which we are assuming Kaido is dead. So
And so I'm just looking through the chapter real quick, and I just want to know. I noticed. Do you think that do you think there's more to Law than it seems? Because I mean, he's really interested in the poneglyphs. I know it's because he has the will of D2, but it just seems like there's more to it than it seems. Because what's going to happen is now that Law is probably not going to continue with the Straw Hats.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it just seems like is this where his journey ends here in Wano, as far as the mysteries, the lore, the poneglyphs?
I think we get one arc without Law, and then Law comes back for the final war.
For Lafta, you think he'll be at Lafta?
I think so as well. Once he links up with them at the final war, if it's before Laptel, then I think he links up with them at the final war, and if it's after Laptel, then I think he meets them at Laptel, then goes to the final war with them, because he's such a popular character. I don't think Oda's not going to have him around for that.
Yeah.
Personally,
I mean, technically speaking, like he has 2 out of 4. Like
Yeah.
a road poneglyph. I mean, I don't know if he made copies of them or if Sukiyaki or what you call it, the minx at Zoe like allowed him to make a copy, since like it was mainly focused on Luffy getting it. But if we do see that they let him take the copy, he has 2 out of 4. And like maybe at some point, like with like Luffy going somewhere else, Law heads to Big Mom's territory and then tries to take the road poneglyph there because he knows it's there, and then like he's a little bit lagged behind, but he's still on the race to become Pirate King, or not Pirate King, but he's still on the race to know the ancient history.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It makes sense, especially because he even says like he wants to figure out what's going on with the Will of D, and he wants to know the mysteries behind it. Because going this far into the New World, going and defeating Kaido, and I think he was always looking for the poneglyphs. So it does show that he has that ulterior motive. But yeah. What
I just
another
want to interject and say I'm thinking he actually continues on. I mean, I would hate for the Straw Hats to break up, but every time you see Robin learning something, Law's not too far near. He wants to learn the checkered fate. I'm imagining he knows he can't learn it without being affiliated with the Straw Hats because he doesn't have anybody to read these poneglyphs. So I'm thinking he's going to keep some kind of connection close to them so that he can get this information that Robin's trying to figure out as well. So just to come
Yeah,
from another perspective.
I'm agreeing with John. I think Law, like at this point, Law's the type of character to know that if he wants to know something, he needs to stay around this dude. Like he knew on Jeroza
Yes, sir.
that Luffy was going to take down Doflamingo. Like he didn't have the strength to do it. Like after that battle on Green Bit, like he knew where he was at. Like Law needs to stay with the crew at this point because even if it's taken away from some certain characters, like think about the potential where like a Chopper can get from learning from Law, like his side of the medical field. Like that's just a whole other side opening for them.
Okay.
I think with 30 minutes left, there's one thing that we should definitely talk about, and it'll definitely take 30 minutes. Shanks Scaling. It's the title of the video. Where the hell is he at? Is he top one? Is he top one right now?
Yeah, it's a good place to end off the stream.
What do y'all think?
Well, let everybody else go first because I got some.
Okay.
I got
So I know everyone's gonna say Shanks is top one, and the only character that I'll say is even close in my eyes. I think Blackbeard is number one, and I've said it, and I'll still say it. If you disagree, that's fine. I want to hear what do you guys think about that.
Okay, and hold up. Before we even continue, once y'all rank Shanks, I want y'all to also scale Mihawk as well. But tell me how many places there are.
I mean, yeah, Mihawk is right there. He is right there.
Yeah, bro, this is about to get to a toxic stream right now. Yeah.
So, what you feeling, JJ?
So, I mean, hockey rules. We've seen Shanks do something more impressive with one chapter than we've almost seen from anybody else. That man made a daggone Admiral tuck his tail and keep it moving. Like, I don't know how you could put anybody. I mean, Blackbeard makes you wonder because he did scar him, but I mean, he's either one or he's two. I don't think Luffy's the strongest yet, but you got to look at those two and just put them ahead of everybody else. But I mean, Kaido, I think when Kaido said hockey, is above all, he was trying to set up, the end game, and Shanks is a monster with that hockey. So one or two at the least.
I like that. Preach what you got for me. I mean, Prince, I'm sorry.
I'll pass it to Preach. I'm doing some YouTube shit right now for the channel, but Preach, go ahead.
Yeah, I do agree with that about, hockey reigns supreme. And we even saw it with Kaido. He really wants to make the point across. We saw it with Roger. And I even think that, I think Rocks. I think Rocks had probably the strongest hockey that we're going to see. So when it comes to Shanks and having his hockey, I do see what you guys are going to say about, his hockey will just elevate him to the next level. And that's fair enough. I guess in my headcanon, I just think that Blackbeard will also have hockey, and it won't be even close to Shanks. But I do think that it's enough where his multiple devil fruits, two of the strongest devil fruits in the verse, and then you add maybe some hockey on top of that. I do think that that's enough. And you got to consider, even if Shanks does have the best hockey, he learned some things from Roger, Rayleigh. It's like he's still... Blackbeard is still his enemy at the end of the day. Blackbeard is still going to be the final antagonist. Blackbeard to me is the biggest problem in the One Piece world. And even though we see Blackbeard, he's still increasing and increasing. He's still power hungry. He's still ambitious, and that was the biggest problem that Shanks had, and that's why he was warning Whitebeard about him. So to me, Blackbeard is always going to be the main guy at the end, where maybe Luffy will surpass him, most likely by the end. But as right now, I still think Blackbeard.
All right, Sabo, talk to me.
All right, so first, want to address the Blackbeard stuff. Blackbeard, he definitely has some, maybe not a new form of hockey, but maybe his hockey suppression is on a different level. Because you gotta think, this is the man who was able to hide his intent to scrape a man who became the Yonko, Shanks, and give him cuts over his eyes. But not only that, hide his intent from Whitebeard the entire time, to where he was able to take the Yaminami no Mi from Thatch with ease.
Yeah, that's true. He did defeat a commander without even a devil fruit. He just easily defeated him.
That was 4th commander, right?
Yeah, Yach was no. I said Yach.
He's first.
No, first is Marco.
He was either 3rd or 4th.
The first is Marco, second is Ace or Odin, and third is Thatch, I believe. No, third is Jozu. He's number 4.
Okay. But then the other one was Shanks, right? His hockey. The other question we was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, just what do you wait? Rank Shanks and Mihawk a little bit behind.
So for Shanks, he like right now he is number 1. Like the way I look at it, if you go back and you read the Marineford panels, yeah, I know we gonna get a bunch of comments about Vista and whatnot, but it don't matter. If he could have packed Vista, he could have did it right then and there, but he didn't. And then when Shanks showed up, you literally get a panel of Mihawk saying, "Oh, y'all called me to come here to fight Whitebeard, and I couldn't even land a tackle him because Jozu powerbound my slides, and now I gotta fight Shanks. I'm not with that." But he got 1 arm, and you got 2. Make it make sense.
So, yeah. Marineford, to me, Marineford is a problematic thing for Mihawk, and that's the thing with me is like Marineford was a letdown because I wasn't reading One Piece when it came out, and I caught up way later. And when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, okay, Mihawk's gonna go crazy in the war. He's the big name that we've been waiting for, and he didn't really do much, so that was a disappointment. And then the real reason why I think Mihawk always is a lot more far behind Shanks than people think is because of the line where he's comparing himself to an old Whitebeard who is a Yonko, and he's basically saying he's comparing us as warlords, him and Doflamingo and whoever else, to a Yonko who's on his last breath. So, and that's when I realized, like, okay, yeah, he's if he's below Whitebeard, even at that point, then he's not messing with Shanks.
Alright, in my opinion, this whole Mihawk Shanks thing, they said they rival each other, right? I think it's just like sky-splitting feats. Just like it. In the sense that you have to be a high tier in order to get there and split the sky and do all these things and pretty much rival one another, per se. But there's tiers to that. And like the title says, I think Shanks is number 1. Hockey rules all. He has shown the best Conqueror's hockey and hockey feat in the series right now in this chapter. And I feel like at this point, like the only person who can get close to him is two people is Blackbeard and Luffy. That's it. Mihawk is going to stay the same, I feel, and not get stronger because of Zoro's fight like in the future. But in terms of Shanks, the only people that can get close is Luffy and Blackbeard. And Blackbeard is somehow going I don't know why or how they're gonna integrate Blackbeard with Shanks, because obviously they have this huge rivalry. Maybe Shanks dies, maybe against Blackbeard or somehow and makes Blackbeard a much more powerful antagonist. But with how everything is going right now, there's only 2 people, like I said, that can contend with Shanks, and those 2 people are Blackbeard and Luffy. And right now, with Mihawk involved, they're top 5 with Akainu included for known characters as we know right now.
I like that. All right, get your popcorn, man. This is gonna be a long one. All right,
Let's hear it.
All right, boom. Shanks is number 1 in the universe. No. Actually, Shanks is number 2 in the universe. I think Dragon is number 1.
Dragon is number 1. Okay.
But Shanks is number 2, and I will put Mihawk at maybe number 6.
6.
Six. Okay,
Yeah.
so what does that list look like? Is Luffy
Dragon.
somewhere there?
Yes, Luffy is stronger than Mihawk right now. Dragon, Shanks, Dragon, Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard, Aki Inu, Mihawk. That's 6. All right. Now, the first thing people are going to say is he's the world's strongest swordsman, and Shanks is a swordsman, so he's stronger than Shanks. We just saw Shanks completely deter an admiral from fighting someone without swinging his sword once. So to limit Shanks to only being a swordsman is invalid to me personally. Now, next up, titles in One Piece are hype devices and are not always facts. Whitebeard still had the title of the strongest man in the world when he was hooked up to IVs. There were probably 10 people in the universe that could have beat Whitebeard one-on-one at that point, but he still had a title. So let's not act like everything that a title says is just a fact in One Piece. Now, the gap between Mihawk and Shanks is the same as the gap between Sanji and Zoro. He did not make Mihawk 1 centimeter shorter than Shanks for no reason. But the thing is, Shanks and Mihawk were rivals 10 years ago. Shanks wasn't even a Yonko yet. And Mihawk was apparently on his quest fighting all the swordsmen then. I believe that, the journey to become a Yonko and top tier in the universe pushed Shanks to grow faster than Mihawk becoming the world's strongest swordsman, because there aren't many competitors for that title in the universe, if we're being honest. So that is why I believe that there is a pretty decent gap between those two. But I'm not disrespecting Mihawk. Even though he did clash with Vista as if they were equals, and he clashed with Crocodile as if they were equals, and he wanted to see the gap between him and Whitebeard and didn't even make it to Whitebeard, he went out bad, but guess what? He's not Shanks. That's just how it is, But for him to be Zoro's in-game opponent, he is very powerful. But Shanks is comparable to Luffy, and he is comparable to Zoro. So if we're going to have Luffy at the top of the world, and if you think that Zoro is going to be that at the end of the series, then I just can't agree with that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, because if you look at it, like, that's exactly how I view it. Of Shanks being with Luffy in his end goal, Zoro is always going to be behind Luffy at some level, and right now it's not even close. Like, it used to be close with Luffy and Zoro, but at this point, Zoro has to catch up so much now to even come close to Gear 5, to come close even on the hockey scale. And the way you think about it is like in that perspective, I feel like that makes Shanks a lot more, like, he has a way higher chance of being superior to Mihawk in my eyes. Then you can also look at it like, okay, even though Mihawk does have the ambition of the greatest swordsman, he's maintained it for a while. Like, Shanks is going after the One Piece. Shanks has the best crew. He wants to stop Blackbeard. He wants to stop these certain things. He wants to stop war. Mihawk's just showing up to Marineford, and he doesn't even care. Like, he's not even trying to fight. And to me, it's like Shanks loves to fight. He loves to go all out. And we just saw him completely just leak out hockey like it was nothing. And that's not even like that's a glimpse of his power. Right. So to me, that's a
preview.
Yeah, that's like a tease. And exactly, so if we're just seeing that right now, and Shanks doesn't care. Shanks doesn't care about showing off or whatever. He wants to fight people. So he's not going to be afraid to fight the strongest characters. Mihawk, not to say he's afraid, but he just, like, I feel like Mihawk just walks around and just tries to fight swordsmen, and that's it.
Now, this is the question I want to ask, because I feel like it is very pertinent and very important in terms of what we recently just saw. With Shanks being, let's just say Shanks is top 1 for now. If Shanks is top 1, does that mean that Luffy must surpass him in order to meet him? And what I mean is, in order to become a great pirate, Lucky Roo and all these people on Shanks' crew already acknowledge Luffy to be a great pirate. But if Shanks doesn't want to meet Luffy right now, is that because he's not top 1?
I don't think so.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just going to say that I think that Luffy is being a Yonko, there's no other, if he's not a great pirate now, he's not going to ever be a great pirate if he's not one now. So I
He's
think
already
just the
on
stuff
the
with Bart
level as far as the title.
that too, yeah, that. I just think the stuff with Barto and everything else, and plus Film Red, obviously, he just had to
Yeah,
show
he
up
just
for that.
had to, huh?
So I just think that's the reason why they're gonna meet, and it's gonna be a great meeting, but it's just not the time right now, personally.
Okay.
No, I think it is going to come sooner than we think though, because if you look at how they're setting it up, it does seem like Luffy's going to have to fight Shanks within the next arc or two.
Yeah, I
Yeah, for
do
sure.
think that they're gonna do a Davy back fight, and the prize is gonna be Robin. If Shanks is
Oh,
going for the One Piece, right? We've seen Davy back fights go for crew members. It would be for Robin, right? And then Shanks would be able to get Robin as a crew member, read poneglyphs, and then that would put him one step ahead to get the One Piece. But yeah, definitely gonna be a Devi back fight for sure. I don't think it's gonna be a very serious fight unless Luffy goes even more. Like, say for example, he goes into Elbaf, does his own thing there, right? He follows his own way, and he again goes into Shanks' territory if Elbaf is Shanks' territory, and does stuff like he's not supposed to, like a Yonko in another Yonko territory, messing with the whole Elbaf system, or like their like government in there, or just something, whatever it is, like their law of power. And Shanks has to then remind Luffy that, all right, your crew member, not crew member, but your alliance, whatever it is, fleet picked on me in like my territory. Now you personally picking on my territory. This shit not gonna slide. So that's the only way I see a serious fight breaking down between them. Otherwise, it's Davy back for sure.
Right, and he's still a pirate. Like people expect Shanks to be this perfect, guy. He's a pirate at the end of the day.
Like Luffy's little like baby beast or some shit.
Right. Yeah, they want him to be just coddle Luffy for the forever. Bro, he is a pirate with his own life as well.
Exactly.
So I
Got
don't
his
like
own
that.
ambitions and everything.
Right. So I'm gonna just throw this out there because I've said this in the chat, but I want everybody else to hear this. I want this to be on record. Mihawk said that he defeated every strong swordsman to become the world's strongest swordsman, and then Marineford came around and he never met Vista before, so his title is a lie. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Wait, he's never met Vista before?
He said, Vista said, so you've heard of me. And Mihawk said, yes, they've never met before. But his claim to his title was, I've defeated every strong swordsman. That is a lie.
Mm.
So that brings the oh god.
I think because the way I look at it was I always thought that Mihawk did defeat Shanks in the past. When we hear about the greatest clash that Whitebeard was talking about with Shanks and Mihawk, because the only way that you could really prove yourself at that level, they made it seem like that was the big battle that put Mihawk and Shanks to the next level. And I feel like if he did defeat Shanks there, that could have been the day that he was getting the title of the greatest swordsman. It could have just been that thing where it just stuck around for a while. And even though Shanks could be stronger now, I feel like at one point Mihawk was the stronger and better fighter. But that's just the way I see it.
You know,
and we need to remember.
I think it's the exact. Sorry, Carl. I think it's the exact same situation, right? Like you just said, Preach. But I think the result is flipped. I think Shanks beat Mihawk, right? With the for the world's strongest swordsman title, but just in general, like at their like young age, like their whole like big ass like bouts between each other. And I think the reason for that is because Mihawk came to Shanks early on in the series and was like, I'm not trying to fight you anymore. I need a serious battle because with your left arm is, or right arm, I forgot which arm, but your arm's gone now. So I feel like that's Mihawk being like, I can't fight you seriously or like try to win anymore because you just gone. You passed your potential. Like before, like you were like extremely strong and like with two arms, but now it's like, you know, I lost before, but now if I win, it's a pity win. So I'm not taking that. That's what I feel like the vibe that I got from that Shanks and Mihawk like meeting early on when they showed Luffy's first bounty. So.
Fair enough.
Oh, K-Pop just said, so who is number 2 if Shanks is number 1? I really want to know.
Dragon.
I don't think it's Dragon. I think it's either Blackbeard or like Mihawk, but or
Kaido. Okay.
Akainu's a good pick too. But
What about I know he's probably dead by now, but what about Kaido?
I mean, Kaido didn't get weaker losing to Luffy, so I can't.
Like the way I see it is that I feel like Kaido got stronger.
Yeah, because hockey blooms.
Yeah, exactly. And he even said like that was the first real like intense fight that he had since Odin.
I mean, his hockey bloom was shown him
I-
copycatting Future Sight, was it not?
He had to
Hockey
hold up
blooms,
the island,
rivals. I like that.
fighting the scabbards, fighting his son, trading off between Luffy and Zoro because Luffy ain't got no damn stamina. Like, he fought everybody on the island.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like the way I rank it is Blackbeard, then Kaido, then Shanks.
I think.
And I know people are gonna
that's
say,
fair.
"Oh, well, now that we see Shanks with his hockey," and that's fair enough. Like hockey is the most important, but I feel like I don't think you could just rule out the devil fruit abilities.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like how people just took that statement and made it seem as if that just means that devil fruits are invalid. That's not true.
Exactly. Like, Kaido still has the best devil fruit in my eyes.
Yeah, that is true. But
Or him, if not him, then maybe
But
Luffy.
Shanks still stopped him from going to Marineford, though. Like, don't you think that
He
the
did that.
hockey influenced that?
I think that's a conversation more so than just what you call a battle, because Shanks came unwounded completely, and not just him, his entire crew. So
And it's
Right. Think
also
about
like
this,
maybe you want to see like, okay, well maybe, yeah, I see what you're saying with the hockey and stuff, but like, I don't know because
Shanks had his whole crew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had his whole crew, and Kaido just had King.
It was
So
just
it's,
Kaido and King, so he was like, "Yo, let me fall back." Okay.
yeah,
But
I
y'all
feel like
gotta
it's the
think
same
about
thing
this,
with
though.
Greenpool too.
Him taking just King with him tells me that that was a trip to go and see Joy Boy, because King is the only one that shares that same dream of meeting of Kaido. You know, he says that Kaido will be the one
Good
to meet him.
perspective.
Right. So I think that it would have taken a lot more than a conversation for Shanks to stop Kaido on the way to realize his lifelong dream.
I mean,
Personally.
it makes sense, right? Because if we look at it in terms of the Kaido Joy Boy perspective, right? Ace ticked all the boxes that Luffy ticked, like in terms of being the Joy Boy coming to Wano. Ace came to Wano. Ace is supposedly the Joy Boy. I think Shanks told Kaido that Ace was Joy Boy, and like he'll come or like he'll come again soon enough. But then he died. But yeah, even like with the whole like card play, if we talk about it, it's King, Queen, Jack, Ace. So, like, it's honestly interesting like to think like that, but I think the whole world, like all the top tiers, like were influenced by Shanks to think that Ace was Joy Boy. Hell, even Whitebeard thought he wanted Ace to be the Pirate King, but when everyone thought that, Luffy just came sweeping into Marineford and just shook the entire system as it was. So now
What do you think
everyone's
about-
starting to doubt, like, and be like, "Oh, Luffy is actually Joy Boy." So
What do you think about maybe if Shanks told Kaido? You know, we all thought that Ace was Joy Boy, but we got it wrong.
yeah,
Maybe
that
Luffy is actually Joy Boy, because if you remember, like Kaido was always wondering, oh, you couldn't be Joy Boy either.
that's what I think, because Shanks also has the knowledge of Oden's like talking about, oh, a Joy Boy has to come in 20 years time. So that like Kaido doesn't know that either, or not like in some sort of way, but like Kaido knows less than Shanks does in that department. So I definitely feel like Shanks was like, all right, we all think it's Ace, we were wrong, it's Luffy, or he's coming soon. Just stay in Wano and Joy Boy will come to you. And obviously Kaido will be like, yo, that's hella intriguing. If he's gonna come to me, I'll just sit back in Wano. Hence, Kaido's being like, I'm staying here because it's Wano. Maybe it's because Shanks told him to stay there.
That is true. I like that.
Oh,
And the way with Kaido too is like he might have been thinking, oh, like in his mind, he's probably thinking, I'm gonna survive, but if the worst thing comes to worst, I'm going to go out dying, because we know Kaido is not afraid to die. We know that he's always been wanting to have a great death. In his mind, he was maybe thinking, okay, well, if I die to at least meet Joy Boy, it might be worth it. But
Okay. Well, How much time we
So
got
let
left?
me ask
We got 5 minutes.
one question. I'm actually about to vamp out, but I just wanted to get your perspective on this one thing in the chapter that we never touched upon. So we all know that Jack is a fishman and he's able to breathe underwater, but I'm still trying to figure out how was he able to navigate under the water with him having his devil fruit. Do you imagine, Kaido just tied a rope around him and just let him sink and, navigate him under the water? Like, how was they able to find out anything using Jack when he had his incapabilities? It just didn't work in my head. I was just wondering anybody else's perspective.
All right, quick.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yeah, a
I
quick
think they
plug.
did
Oh my
explain it
bad.
before. Though. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I can jump in too. Go ahead, Prince.
Oh no, I was gonna say that's also a quick plug from everything you missed video, but I feel like there's definitely some kind of device that like they use because like obviously they were making like a bunch of weapons and stuff. I'm sure it's not like put in past Kaido to make some kind of like not weapon but some sort of like device or system in which Jack had to go underwater and like explore all of Wano.
Okay, I don't think that's the case. I think it's right in our face too.
You think so?
Do y'all remember when we're leaving Whole Cake Island and Jinbei kind of like commanded those fish to do something for him? He was communicating with
Oh,
some as a
Mm.
fish man. Y'all don't think that Jack is able to do that and maybe did the same with the fish in the water area around Wano?
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Oh,
I mean, he wouldn't have been able to do the same thing when they sunk his ship. He wouldn't have been able to say, "Yo, fish, get me up out of the bottom."
I don't think he can make them strong enough to pick up his. He's a pretty big fella. But
Okay.
no, Revoy in chat makes a very good point. He said maybe it was before he ate it. They've been in Wano for 20 years.
that too, yeah, because he's now.
That could
but
very well be the case.
Jack is young. He
Yeah.
got Jack as a youngster, so he could have got him.
Preach, what do you think?
No, that's a good point. Yeah, we don't even know if he had his devil fruit whenever that happened. It could be that he got his devil fruit more recently.
I think Jack is in his 40s if I'm not mistaken. I can check this. But
No.
I think Jack is.
And
Jack-
and the thing, even if like he wouldn't drown, still like he would still be able to breathe.
Yeah, no.
He would just sink though.
He would just sink all the way to the bottom, and someone would have to get him.
I think Jack is like 28. Oh yeah, he's 28. He's young.
Yeah.
So I think that he joined the crew as just a fish man, and maybe found that in the area. Maybe he communicated with the fish, found that in the area, and went down there and seen it for himself and told Kaido about it. But after that, he was given his devil fruit the same way Big Mom hunts out devil fruits for the kids. Kaido probably does the same, and that's how we get.
Oh wait! What about this? Oh, I guess that doesn't. I was gonna say that doesn't make sense because I was gonna say if the rainwater is different effect than the seawater, but I think Oda did say that it's just like in a huge body of water you'll sink.
Yeah, he said all water. That's why devil fruit users have to take showers.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Well-
though, like how like the water is being played out, like how it'll be used. I mean, hell, maybe.
I think he said it was something about the Oh my bad, you're talking about Wano. My bad. Never mind.
Not it just in general. I'm talking like just devil fruits in like large bodies of waters, like how it'll be played out. I think Oda will still have to figure out a little bit why, just in general he like wants to approach things because we still haven't seen because there's been a lot of concepts on it, but a water-based devil fruit, like we still don't know like how it's gonna work out, but maybe we'll see soon enough. And then Revoy says in chat, maybe that's why Kaido trusts him so much because he found the poneglyph. I mean,
Hey, that's a fire theory.
Kaido does respect him a lot, like
Yeah, he
much
does.
more than the fan base does because we think he's garbage. But
Hey, I like Jack.
Kaido likes him a lot, so I think that might be a reason why. That's actually a good point.
So I think the last thing I'm just throw out here, just for like the sake of the conversation we was having, I think Oda said that the reason why all large bodies of water lead to devil fruit users being immobilized is because all water comes from the same place. So I think he was referring to like the water cycle, how the rainwater will get water out of the sea. It was one of them wonky Oda explanations, but that's why he explained that's why.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna wrap this up soon. So just for like the last quick thing, I want to say, do you like? So, what is the whole situation with Shank's daughter? Is she canon?
I think she
I don't
is
know.
canon. Another
I
thing
think
to
she's
plug.
canon. Yeah.
Another thing to plug for my video uploading tomorrow morning. I can't believe we cover so many things on it, man. But yeah, I think Uda is canon because if you
Seems
notice
like
in
it.
the chapter, there is this figurine, a fourth shadow. And
Oh, really?
yeah, if you look at it, the chapter, Shanks has the flashback of the kids. He sees Luffy, Momo, Hiyori, and then a fourth figurine right there. So I think if we assume it's a child, that's four kids that Shanks has a very close relation to, or like is like the new age, so to speak. So with all film read, like these things coming in, and like the manga showing a like shadowed silhouette, it has to be Uta, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. So that gives us yeah, I think she's canon for sure. And
Uta and he. I was gonna say Uta and the Hiyori concert is about to go crazy.
Ooh, for sure.
I
Added
just think
Brook
that
too,
the
man.
events are
Brooke. Yeah, they're on Brooke.
Oh, that would be
I'm
insane.
trying to find that silhouette. I can't.
It's
But
right.
yeah, the events of film red aren't canon, but the characters are just like Shiki with film goals. So
Yeah,
okay, I see now. Yeah,
it's right
I
before
think
does the
that
new
is.
age frighten you that much?
I'm looking at it right now, and that looks like the ribbons, well, whatever that is she has in her hair.
Yeah, it looks like her.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm calling it right now. In movie Red, Uta is gonna go up to Brooke and ask for an autograph.
He's like
I
Michael
think it's the
Jackson,
other way
bro.
around. They're gonna do like some kind of like exchange or like artist exchange or like do like a feature or some shit, and then that's how the Straw Hats get this link to Uta through Brooke. And then he has a completely like whole different outfit than the rest of them. So I think like Brooke is like their gateway to Uta and Film Red, and then like towards the end, like Uta is gonna like not end, but like in like the beginning, Uta meets Luffy and it's like, oh my god, Luffy, I haven't seen you so long, and then the whole crew is shocked, like, huh, you know Luffy? And then Luffy's like, yeah, I've known this girl since time, bro. What are you talking about? So yeah, I think that's how it's gonna play out. But I don't know. I think somebody like already like has seen Film Red, so maybe like we see spoilers and stuff. But I don't know. But yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
avoid
this
those.
is a good time to end it off.
I think we hit like 2 hours and like 2 minutes, maybe. So for a final wrap up, this was One Piece University, our second stream. Thank you to everybody who came by, dropped a like, subscribed. Once again, we had JJ. He's in the chat now. He had to dip out towards the end. His all of his socials are John Sherrod. Preach, tell him a little bit about yourself before ending.
Yeah, you can find me at Marshall D Preach on YouTube, on Twitter. We drop theory videos. Sometimes we just do discussions and whatever we want to talk about. Yeah, so come check it out. And yeah, it's been a great chapter, great week for One Piece.
Talk to him, Prince.
All right, so as it is, Principal Anime on everything. That's TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Like Preach, I make theory videos as well, but I also dive into like reviews sometimes. Also, very goofy videos too, just in general, anything One Piece or anime related. But yeah, come check me out. It's great. Discussions anytime, just like on OPU, we have fun. But yeah,
Cool. Let me hear you say something to the crowd, Sabo.
Yo, I'm Sabo. You can catch me on Twitter at @full_Sabo. Open to discussions in the group chat with these guys. Always chopping it up. It's always a good time. Go pass it to you, Crow.
Well, it is your boy Crow. I go by many names: Big Gucci Crow, Pirate Hunter Crow. But you can find me on YouTube at Pirate Hunter Crow and on Twitter at Majin Crow. I am currently in the middle of putting together a lot of video content for you guys, so hopefully we're gonna get more than 2 videos up on the channel. And that's about it. Thank y'all once again. We really appreciate everybody who sat and watched with us, everybody who liked, subbed, all that.